Hey, Shalom. Kahala Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Waha, Rahakadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to Yaakim that's pushing his word in truth and sincerity. This is Amathia from the GMS Dallas camp. I wanted to go into a quick lesson into this is the future of America. I was actually on the radio, came on the who was that? Donald Glover, and he had the song "This Is America" that came out around in 2018. Look how time flies. So he had brought out this song, and when you just saw the video, it just seemed like it was a lot of turmoil, commotion, things that were happening in America. Where was his name? Dylan Roof shot up the church, the Christian church, for Jake. He shot up all type of Jake and ended up going to McDonald's or they took him to McDonald's or Popeyes to eat before he went to jail. This is some of the things that was in the video, but when that song was on and I was like, yeah, this is America, and see what the results is coming up. The future of America. So this is the future of America that we're about to see. Today is election day. You have Joe Biden, Donald Trump. You have both sides. And like you said, the Proud Boys saying that they're ready. You have Antifa, all these different Black Lives Matter, all these different organizations that's saying that they're ready to pounce at any time. So this is coming down where it's going to be complete chaos that's coming down the pipe that we're here. Like I say, it's coming down the pipe. It actually is ready to drip out the pipe. You're here. Okay? And what happens when you see a drop come out the pipe or a faucet? When it hits, it's a big splash. So that's going to be in the form of what? Chaos. But that's good. That's good, because this is going to be the judgment of Esau, and also for the 2/3 of Israel, which is so-called Black, Latinos, and Native Americans, who are the true nation of Israel. Esau being Esau Edom is the so-called white man. Okay, the judgment is coming upon them. All right, and from there it's going to be captivity, but we do have to go through Jacob's trouble, pursuant to Jeremiah 30:7. All right, but like I say, the mirth is going to cease out this place, and we see the grinding ceases pursuant to Ecclesiastes 12, around the 7th verse. But let me go ahead and get a scripture here. This is Matthew, and this is Matthew 10, verse. I'm gonna start at 34. Okay, it says, and this is Yahweh Shai speaking, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, but his true biblical name and his Hebrew name is Yahweh Shai. Okay, which is the Son of the Most High, which his name in Hebrew is Yahweh. He is, okay, Yahweh, meaning the definition of that is he is, and he exists, and Yahweh Shai is he is the deliverer, or he is salvation, Yahweh Shai. So it says, Matthew 10:34, think not that I've come to send peace on earth. Now, when you hear the Christian churches and everything out there, which, like I said, a lot of it is here in America, especially where the money at, the clapping and the joy is through you so-called black churches. This is where all the mirth and the excitement goes on as far as Christianity. All right. So when he come back, is he going to show peace? Is those church houses going to be delivered up, as they call the rapture, which the rapture is nowhere in the scriptures? Okay. Is that going to happen? Because we're going to go through a lot of chaos here in this world, and they're going to bring forth martial law. And when I say they, I'm talking about Esau Edom. Because when you look at who rules the world was given to the white man, which is named biblically, the group's name, the actual nation name is the Edomites. But the top the elite of them, they're setting up for complete order in a wicked fashion through martial law, through the mark of the beast, which was coming, and then you gotta look what's coming down the pipe before you even get to the mark of the beast. Prepping with what? The vaccination. They're talking about putting a chip in the vaccination to somehow keep count. This is something that's happening, and what it's going to bring about is the mark of the beast. And what you're going to do at that time. The elect is going to be delivered, which the elect is 144,000. So you got to think, is he sending peace? He said, think not I come to send peace. I come not to send peace, but a sword. All right? He's coming to send a sword. What do a sword do? To kill, to you need to cut something, divide something. All that. So he's bringing forth division and death. Double D. This is verse 35. For I come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. All this is coming. This is saying he's coming with division. You see, in this world, you having the houses, just the house in general, especially for you so-called Black, Latinos, and Native Americans, especially for the Southern Kingdom. It's the house, the household is a mess. The woman is over the man. The kids are monsters. You know what I'm saying? These are things that are said in the scripture that would happen. And what do that culminate, how you pronounce it? What did that come to? That comes to bringing forth a division in the families. You know, you have, when you just look at today, you'll see a daughter would kill her mother with no problem. Still taking a cell phone. That actually happened. 2 girls, okay, killed their mother because she grounded them, and I think she took their cell phones with that last year or 2 ago. All right, I know it was no later than 2018. Might have been, like I said, a year or 2. Okay, so all these woes is coming upon the house of the nation of Israel. Okay, upon your households, and also upon the households, even these Lord Edomites and the rest of these heathen nations that dwell here in America. All right, it says, verse 35, for I am come to set a variance against his father and the daughter, and against his mother, and against the daughter-in-law, and against the mother-in-law. A man's foes shall be they of his own household. So what is your foe? What is how do they say it? Friends or foe? If you ain't a friend, then you a foe. If you ain't with me, then you're against me. So you're gonna have a household that's gonna be against one another. Now the men of Israel, like you say, Lord willing, we're the elect. Okay, we are. We have experienced that, you know, when you're in here, when you're in the truth long enough. You know, when you first, like I said, when you first hear the word and hear the truth, and you go and you're gonna, it's just a habit. You're so excited, you bring forth to your family, to your friends, things like that, and you may have something that kind of be like, oh, that sounds pretty good, but then when you then next thing you know, you start getting backlash. Okay, that's the word being it's getting in it smooth in your mouth, but then when you get to your stomach, it becomes bitter because they're giving you a bitter reaction. They're basically turning against you. Now, this is going to happen to the worldly people. It already happened to us. That's because we did away with the world. It happened to the elect because we doing away with the world. And I keep saying that because we're in those times, and Lord willing, we're those men. I'm speaking to myself first and foremost, and Lord willing, everybody that's in this truth at this time will remain and keep pushing. You never know, but Lord will. We can always, just go by saying, Lord willing, things are about to ramp up and happen, which we're seeing. This is prophecy, okay? And like, matter of fact, and I know I'm just kind of rambling. This is Matthew 24 and 14, okay? I'm going to actually start up at verse 12. You know what? Let me go up to verse 11. It says, and many prophets shall arise and shall deceive many false prophets. So many false prophets shall arise and deceive many. Okay? And looking throughout the last few years, I remember the time when the Edomite David Koresh was, I believe that was Waco, having that issue with that going on. Then you have different people. If you just pull up to say people coming around saying they're prophets or they're the Messiah, even like I said, you have other preachers out there that go out and preach totally different things, and and you're gonna have followers. Okay, you're gonna have those followers, and there's gonna be many false prophets. Okay. You have a Joel Osteen, you have a T.D. Jakes. These men have a lot of influence upon America's society. Okay? That's why you say you have these big churches. I've seen big churches, but they're not mega churches. Then you have the mega churches. Okay? That's the thing. You have big churches, then you have mega churches, then you have little churches. You got to think Christianity is all over. And it has waxed the mind, and you have a lot of false prophets that come from different ranges. But this is basically to set up for what? Our people to follow that narrative and end up being destroyed, because that's what's supposed to happen. But what's happening right now? It's preaching throughout the world. Now I'm going to get to that. Verse 12, it says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. That's why you're seeing riots constantly. You're seeing police kill Jake every other day, every other week. And then you have a riot. And then you have these different militia groups. Then, like you say, the household, the families. It's turmoil inside your house and outside your house. So you stay in your house, you got chaos. You walk outside your house, you got turmoil and chaos. Nowhere you can go. Jeremiah 16 comes to mind. All right, and that's going to go for the elites as well, and that's going into nuclear destruction as well. But the thing is, it's nowhere you can go when martial law hits and all this chaos that's going to erupt. Nothing you could do. You're going to be in the mix. What's going to happen is, it's going to be a lot of issues where they're going to say, hey, we got to shut everything down. And martial law is going to be, it's inevitable. One reason, because it's the word. Okay? And it's the word. And we're preaching this. All right? It says, and because of iniquity shall abound, and love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure unto the end the same shall be saved. Okay? The same shall be saved, because the future of America is what? It's destruction, okay? Second Ezra 15, where it says, there be no pity to his neighbor. I'm actually going to get that, but I'm going to finish this. This is Matthew 24:14. It says, and the gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. Christianity has been preached for a very, very long time. Okay? Look at let's just look at times past, and look at the size of the Christian body. Okay? If I'm not mistaken, is it 2 billion people or Christians? That's a lot. And you have to fact check me on that. I'm not for sure. You know what I'm saying? So Christianity has been preached throughout the earth for a long time, but what's getting out right now? Okay? The true nation of Israel is the so-called Black Latinos, the Native Americans. Okay? The saying that America is going to be destroyed through thermonuclear destruction. World War III is imminent and it's coming up to a place near you. All this has been preached throughout the earth now. We're seeing it, okay? And that's bringing fear upon these people. But yet you still have that's going to push that mirth and still enjoy themselves because they feel like it's not hitting them. But that's when the Lord, like I say, things going to happen like a thief in the night, right? This is let me go to something here. Hosea. That's what I'm thinking, but yeah, let's try it. Yeah, Hosea 2. Hosea 2. It says, yeah, Hosea 2 and 11. It says, I will cause also all her mirth to cease, her feast days, her new moons, and her Sabbath, and all her solemn feasts. Okay? And this is going into, like say, this is actually going into Israel, right? But where is a lot or a bulk of Israel is located? Here in America. And what have they? Why are they getting to that point where the mirth and the new moons? Because what are the new moons for here in America? Christmas, you know what I'm saying? These are the idols that they worship, okay? These are their feasts and solemn and Sabbath days here in America, okay? This is what the nation of our people, the nation of Israel, has received, and they rejoice in the different times. Because look what's about to come. Just look at all the years of Christmas. No matter what's going on, people still celebrate Christmas. Like, we have to spend all this money to buy all this stuff and give back to Esau. Ain't that's a system? He he basically takes and withdraw all your money from your checks from these different taxes and things. And then when you get to the end of the year, he throw these different holidays at you for you have to give all this money to travel, to buy different things. Okay, this is America. And then what happens? At the end, you buy all this stuff for Christmas, and then the beginning of the year, you're broke going into the new year, and he give you what here's $1,200, $2,000, $5,000 check, but you have spent thousands and thousands of dollars, okay, that year, with taxes being taken out your check, with these so-called holidays, which is the wicked feast days for Esau, okay? And all this goes back to Babylon worship as well. But that's why they have to be destroyed. That's why destruction draweth nigh. Did I finish that? Yeah. And like you said, he's coming with a sword. And we said what? He's coming to divide the families, all right? And also what he's coming to fire. He's bringing fire, and he's going to bring destruction. That's another part of that sword. This is Isaiah 60... 65. I'm going to start at verse 15. Chosen. Salaki. Isaiah 66. That was a good one too, but 66, verse 15. All right. It says, "For behold, Yahweh will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind to render his anger with fury, his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword," okay, there go that sword again. We knew it for what? Dividing. Like you say, the families, everything's going to be divided. All this things going into the neighbors, pitting the neighbor against his neighbor. And I said I'll get that too in Second Esdras. But all this is coming. All right. And like I said, we discussed that. Now he's talking about fire and by his sword. So this is coming for what? To kill. All right. And to bring destruction. He says, and with his chair, I'm going to start it over. Isaiah 66 and 15. "For behold, Yahweh will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will Yahweh plead with all flesh, and the slaying of Yahweh shall be many." So the slaying of the Most High will be many. All right. And let's jump to verse 17. It says, "They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh, and the abomination of the mouth shall consume together, says Yahweh." Hey, and all these, like when this coronavirus started, we know for a fact that they eat bats over in China, the Moabites. Okay, and who eats swine's flesh? Because when you say that, different things, he needs mouses and different things. We ain't seen Esau. I've seen, and I'm sure a lot of brothers and have seen these gooks out here eating these little baby mice and shit. And then, then Jacob be like, "Oh, that's disgusting." But then when you look at it, you're eating swine's flesh. All right? Yeah. And I'm going to finish off with this because the thing is, this is America and this is what's coming. Okay? It's coming with the division. It's coming with destruction. All right? And what is all this going to come about? Verse 18, it says, "For I know thy works and their thoughts. It shall come that I will gather all nations and tongues, and they shall come and see my glory." Okay, Second Ezra 13 is going to show when he's going to come with that fathership, and they're going to see him, and they're just going to fight. But destruction is going to draw up nigh. Destruction will be coming upon this earth, coming upon America, and coming upon Esau and the other nation, as well as the 2/3. And when I keep saying the other nation, Psalms 83, going into I want to say maybe around the 5th verse, it goes and start giving you names of the different nations that conspired together to bring down and oppress and destroy the nation of Israel by taking and pulling the name of the Lord. Okay, but we're going to see the glory of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Just like this is going to be like I said, we always see the representation, but this is when the kingdom of heaven is going to come to hand. When you think about Joshua, what's that name? Yahushua. Okay, so what did he do? He delivered Israel into the promised land. Okay, because Moses delivered Israel out of Egypt, and then, like I say, being wicked, the generations that came out of Egypt couldn't pass, so the only one that came out of that generation was Caleb and Joshua. They were the elect, you know what I'm saying? And then from there, what happened? Israel, the Lord looked over Israel, and then after Joshua and everything, what happened? We went back into being wicked, worshiping false gods, basically don't even care about the Lord, And what happened? You go into the book of Judges. That was about 300 years of the Lord, giving us judges to go through, and we just had to push on through for 300 years, But just kind of rambling on. But like I said, we finna see the glory of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. And I know I did say I was gonna bring out. I'll bring it out. Yeah, let's bring it out. I'll have to go. This is Second Esdras, and I'm gonna go into. Oh yeah, Second Esdras 15 and 18. I'm gonna read that in 19 as well. It says, you know what? Let's start at verse 17. It says, "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able." And ain't this gonna happen before complete destruction or World War III that come about? Okay, because what's gonna happen after martial law and the mark of the beast? You're gonna have World War III that's gonna erupt, and from there it's gonna be by way of the chariots. Okay, that's why when Second Peter 3 says going into that the elements gonna melt with fervor and heat. That's going into the thermonuclear destruction. But like I said before that, Okay, you're gonna have where this chaos gonna come about, and it's more of this COVID-19 pestilence, famine, all this is gonna happen. You see, a man can go. What was that in I think Australia, where they have did like lockdown and you can't go in the city.